Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs on YouTube. Dave here in the garage, bomb truck, Area 51 still over there. I was going to leave this alone for a little bit, just because it's doing my head in. But because it's doing my head in, I just can't leave it alone. It's like a dog with a bone, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. Last video, after a kind of longer test run and that, the temperature was spiking like hard out, like high. I decided I'd get a new thermostat, so I've got to put that in, but I want to investigate a couple of other things on this. The potential that I might have a cracked or broken ring gear, flywheel, flex plate. I want to kind of get up under there while it's still cold before I do this and have a good kind of scope around with my eyeballs, and see if I can see anything, because the strange little shing noise that I was hearing, you know, that noise at certain accelerations and stuff sounds like when your ring gear is connecting with one of these, but I don't have one of these in there, so I think it's connecting with something else, which means it may be flexing a little bit more than it should be flexing. So that's what I'm thinking anyway. Either that or it's something internal, which I wouldn't know until I pulled the motor apart. So enough jibber jabber, let's get at it. Okay, so first step, I've got to get this thing back up off the ground again and move all that out the way so I can do it. So I'll just get ahead and do that, and we'll be back when we can have a peek underneath and see what's going on under there, hopefully. Yep, let's do it. Alrighty, so under the truck, as you can see, having a look at this. As you can see, this ring gear's got a bit of damage in that on it from misaligned starter gears and stuff in the past. When I first got this truck, or got the 383 and this trans combo, the starter was never aligned properly in the starter gear on the old mini starter I've got on the bench, I'll show you later, was chewed up, and obviously the damage was done to this ring gear, which I didn't discover all this until after I actually put it in, and it used to make that horrific misaligned starter motor noise constantly, which I'm wondering, I have to do some googling about the clearance between the throwout gear and the ring gear on how it should be, because I just found some sort of shims that go between the mounting block and the main body of the starter. Like, they're a circular shim which would push the starter gear slightly back. I'm just wondering, with a bit of flex, is it connecting, and that's what's giving me that kind of rattle noise, and obviously that sheerrranng noise at certain kind of revs and loads. You can see on that starter gear there's a bit of damage on a couple of teeth right at the kind of where I'm shining the light. Hopefully you can sort of see this and the light's not glaring back, which I have noticed in some of my edits it does do. As far as the torque converter bolts go, this one's tight. I've just tried it, so I've got to turn the motor around, make sure, turn the thing over and make sure it's all kind of clear. So I know, I can't say for certain that my kind of clanging noise has been coming from connecting with that starter motor on this unit, because I know the ring gear already had damage to it, sort of thing. And at the moment, looking up on the inside there, I can't see any kind of cracks around the mount where it mounts onto the back of the crank, which is nothing obvious at this juncture, I guess you could say. So I will endeavour to turn the motor over, spin it around and get to the other torque converter bolts and just make sure they are tight, and I'll do a little bit of digging and find out what kind of clearances I should have on this, because, hang on, I'll just change my lighting situation, because it doesn't take much for that to actually connect. You know, we're only talking probably less than 1/8 of an inch, so I'm wondering if it should be more like 1/8 of an inch. And also I'll have to check the shimming between where the teeth mesh and whatnot. So we'll just spin this motor around and check the other bolts. I'm sure they're all done up, but we'll check it anyway. That one's good. Can turn the motor over with it anyway. Can I get to that one? This is number 3. Yeah, they're all tight. So, right, I'll have a look at what kind of clearance I should have for the starter and the ring gear. Yeah? Okay. Okay. Okay, I haven't spoken for a while. I've been doing lots of research and stuff. Been looking at the kind of mesh and the shimming and that of the starter, just to see whether that's an issue of clearances and stuff, and my mesh seems to be fine. I used a little, I've lost it now, a little drill bit thing to check the mesh, but I think my starter is set too close to the ring gear. Hang on, I've got to reset. I really should have got more organised before I turned the camera on. Hang on a sec, back in a minute. Okay, so there's some specs for this. Hang on, we go here. Now, it's that distance between the ring gear and the throwout gear, or the whatever you want to call it, the spigot or the whatever, and the actual ring gear. Oh, I can't actually remember the specs off the top of my head now, but I've got my feeler gauge set to it and it's not enough. So what I need to do is take the starter out and shim it out by some just to get the right kind of clearance here, because I mean they call this a flex plate for a reason. It flexes, and whether that's where I've been getting my rattle noise from, I don't know, but I definitely think it's where I've been getting my occasional sheerrranng noise. And according to the Holly website, hang on, I just want to try and pull this back out again, engagement should be from somewhere from 1/2 to 3/4, which is about there. So I've got too much engagement on my starter to ring gear ratio, I think. So that could eliminate that occasional sheerrranng noise, but it might not be my rattle noise, if you know what I mean. But we'll give it a try anyway, and see where that takes us. So I'd better go and disco the battery and then set about taking the starter motor out. I don't really want to. Putting this wiring in that back end's an absolute pain in the ass, but I can start with that since I can reach it. Okay, so I've already oh my gosh, try to torque this up. I didn't think I was that strong. Right size socket. Crikey, that's tight. I've already disconnected the wiring, so I've just got to undo this if I can get it undone. Oh, holy shit. Of course now it doesn't want to come undone. Got the right size socket, eh? Yeah. Oh, got ya. Rocky. Try this one again. Making faces. That felt so tight. Okay. Maybe I did. Oh, it's just a bit gooey in there. Anywho. Right, try and do this without dropping it. Okay, she's still hanging in there at the moment. Here we go. There's the bolt. There's 5 glass in my eyes. And there's the starter. There's my shims. There they are. So there's my 3 shims. So I'll keep those, obviously, because I'm quite happy with the mesh. It's just more the in and out side of things. So let's go. Oh god, this heater wrap sucks. I'm going to suss that out. Hopefully the camera was pointing somewhere in the right direction. Okay, so starter motor on the bench. Just giving a bit of a wipe down because I got a mark. Is it an Allen key in there? Yeah. I'll mark where it's clocked to at the moment with this pen here, if it'll work. So that's where it's clocked to currently. So to make sure I know, put it back at the same place as when I put it back together, because this is I think this one is a clockable starter. I think it's got 3 positions. You can kind of clock the mount so you can get the solenoid to avoid the block and things like that, move it away from headers slightly and things like that. It's looking a bit meh, eh? Rocky, a bit rude. Just going to take this mounting boss off and put some shims in there. Probably those ones, because it was hang on, I need to they seem the same. It's this outer ring seems different. It's like 1.5. It's slightly less. So probably just go with those 2, which are like about 1.25 millimeters. It's like some kind of fraction that I don't know how to read. But yes, I need a big screwdriver and an Allen key to get into here. Alright, so in there there's an Allen head cap screw. So I'm just going to undo that. Take it out. Slowly. It's cold again this morning. There we go. That one out. And then we've got a couple of big Phillips heads on there as well. Actually, I should have got a vice. Yeah, I might actually use that. that. Ooh. Interesting. Oh, there we go. Throw it out onto the dirty bench. Awesome. So, pretty straightforward, I think. I just got to put one of those shims goes in there. Like so. And put that back in the vise. Of course, now I've got crooked. I wonder if I should do it the other way. Right, that's slippery. That way, no, that way. Then, where's my marks? There we go. Might just pinch up these two Phillips heads for now. So that one set of shims should pull it back. Yeah, I think that one set of shims should be enough, I reckon. So yeah, anyway, I'll tighten it up. Oh, I clocked it wrong. I might have ditched it. Hang on a sec. Got all excited and then just kind of got it in there. Oh, I'll just make the screws in. Just hurry. You're on the YouTube. That's got to go there. Lucky I marked it. If I hadn't marked it, I probably wouldn't have picked that up, and I would have gone into a battle later on going, why is my solenoid hitting the block or the exhaust or something, you know? I wonder if I should do something about that breaking down rubber, exposing that on there. Is that one any better? Might have some big heat shrink. I might be able to put a couple of coats of heat shrink on there, a couple of layers, you know. This is slow going, actually. There we go. Alright, okay, so if I'm going to do something with that, yeah, so check that out. It's all perished and gone all brittle, which is not really ideal for, you know, I guess. So I'll take that off and see if I can maybe put some heat shrink or some kind of thing coating over it. Whiz this off. Strangely enough, I thought GM starter motor it'll be 1/2 inch, but no, it's 13mm. 1/2 inch wouldn't fit on there. If I should leave that, will this work, is the next question. My stomach rumbling, must be getting near lunchtime. Got this little doodad here from the dairy the other day. He looked at me funny. I want to put 2 layers on there just to give it a better shot, you know. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying, geezer? I want to kind of do a bit of an overlap on them. Joyce, right, which way did this go again? That way? What was it? What was that way, I think, eh? Yeah. Put that back on, and then we're done. Put this back in, see what happens. Yep, just like that. Choice, right. While we're here, I'll show you that was the state of the gears on, this was the original starter that I got with the 383. As you can see, it wasn't meshing particularly well, and it used to make a horrific noise, and that's where most of the damage to that starter, the ring gear, and obviously in this gear goes. So that was pretty much toast. I've already been into this for something else. I think I had the solenoid out for something. I was having heat soak issues. I thought it was starter issues, but it was actually just heat issues. Just for a change. Right, so I'm going to put this back in. Okay, so just thought I'd add in the clearance between the ring gear and the starter gear should be about 0.1 of an inch, so about 2.5 millimeters, give or take 0.04, which is like a millimeter or so. So around sort of, you know, they reckon 2 to 3 millimeters, which is, you know, around about 1/8 at the most, sort of thing. So I've got my feelers set to I can't remember now, which was about 2.5 millimeters, or yeah, it wasn't quite 1/8, or 3 millimeters. So yeah, so we got 2.5 mil there, so that's about on spec for the clearance sort of thing. So we'll chuck the starter back in and see where it lands, so give or take. Yeah, so let's do it. Right, I shall endeavour to put this back in. Am I supposed to do this again? No? Try putting it up the right way, it definitely will help. Okay, so I'll get the first bolt started. Oh, there's my ratchet gone. And then I'll put the shims in, yeah? It's not going in. Nope. Ow. Okay, try again. Why doesn't it want to start? Okay, right, the first one started. I'm going to find the bolt that landed in my ear. There it is. My shims off the dirty floor. Right, I'm wearing a rag, so that'll do it. So get the first one in there, and then they're slotted, so you can kind of, you know, the first one's in there, you kind of put it in, and then bring it across, then you can get the second one in there. You know what I'm saying? That's what I figured out the hard way. I didn't realise that at first. Now I've got them all tangled up. Joyce. There we go. Now, no, don't fall out. Took me all that time to get you in there. There we go. Right, here's my socket done. Right, before I crank that up, I want to have a look at this. Perfect. Okay, so check it out. So laying that flat on there, it's probably a little bit bigger gap than spec, but it should be fine. The next test I want to do is get my screwdriver, get that, look at full engagement. Sorry, what I put you wrong earlier. It was like sort of kind of some metric imperial measurement to determine, whereas I'm still got, I think, plenty of engagement. It's not like it's just hanging on the end there. It won't go back now, but it'll go back later. Finish tightening this up. I think, yeah, oh yeah boy, taut. Oh, crikey. Hang on, get into a better position. Yeah. Right. There we go. That made it let go. Okay, so just got to plug the starter back in, the wiring back on, and if I can do that from down here. Getting the solenoid wire is definitely easier from down here. These maybe not so much. That after that matte top. Okay, so I've just got to put that solenoid wire on, just like that, Joyce. And I noticed I didn't hook this back up, which is just was supposed to be on that bell housing bolt. I don't imagine it's That couldn't have been my rattle, could it? Right, I'll give it a cold start and see how that starter sounds. Park. I'm sitting in the passenger seat. Started. Imagination, or is it not as chattery? Mind you, it was a bit quieter when it was cold, so it might. Definitely not chattery like it was. Could that have been it all along? Like just a starter alignment thing? I wouldn't have thought so. I was thinking kind of cracked ring gear or something, flywheel flex plate. So I kind of went right around that thing off camera about 4 times looking for signs of cracks or anything. I even scraped off paint and stuff and I couldn't see anything. So yeah, I'm gonna go have some lunch and then we'll do this thermostat and then we'll run it up a bit longer. I don't want to get it hot because I want to dump the coolant on this straight after I've had something to eat. But could that have been it? I just really don't know. It could have been just touching. Well, we'll find out when it gets warmed up. Be back. Okay, so Murphy's Law dictates as soon as I put expensive coolant or relatively cheap coolant in the system, I have to drain it again. And it's probably also going to mean that I won't get my thermostat housing to not leak again. But we've got to do it. So press on. Just draining the coolant, as you can hear. See? Makes you feel like you need to kind of go to the bathroom sort of thing. And yeah, once I've got that down low enough, probably don't need to dump it all. I just need to get it to a certain point. No real way of measuring how much I'm taking out other than looking at my container. And we're about half full at the moment. I can just kind of see it, which by my mathematical calculation we're probably at about there. So yeah, probably be alright actually, because unless it starts sort of backflowing out of the thermostat area. I'll drain a bit more. Uh-oh. Just a little bit, or is it going to be a lot? A little bit. Sweet. Whip this off. Yep. There we go. Was this the problem all along with that heat thing? I don't know. Has got a few years on it, this thermostat, so it could well be the problem. I did consider running no thermostat, but there's two schools of thought. There's the school of thought that says factory put it in there for a reason, your engine will run more efficiently and better with a thermostat in it. The other school of thought is it'll run cooler. I tend to think it'll run better with a thermostat in it, because that's kind of how it's supposed to work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just, you know, I've done it before. I've run no thermostat, just trying to keep things cool, and it keeps the water constantly circulating, but your engine never really gets up to its optimal temperature sort of thing. But then you don't have problems with sticking thermostats and kind of things like that. I once had a Holden Commodore that thermostat stuck, and then when it finally let go, it just pummeled a plastic tank radiator with nuclear hot waste, and it just splits the tanks. And it was apparently quite a common sort of fault scenario type of deal with that era Holden Commodore. So there you have it. So they can fail. So that's kind of what I'm hoping has happened here, that this one is just not functioning properly. It hasn't got a little dingle dangle bypass thing on it. This one does have the little dingle dangle thing on there. Hang on. Childproof packaging. Oh, yeah, that. Give it to me. Yeah, so that's got that little bypass in there as well, whereas the old one didn't. I don't really know what difference that makes, but it's only a tiny little hole. Some people drill an 1/8 inch hole or a 3mm hole into this flange just so there is a constant flow of some sort, but I don't know, I guess that's what that little thing is designed to do, is to create a little bit of flow somehow. But anyway, we'll put this one in and put it all back together. That is the right way, isn't it? Yeah. I just suddenly had a thought, it's like, what? But no, it doesn't go that way, does it? No, that way, that's the thermostat there. It's got to go into the hottest part of the water. Just like there. Just add a bit of a wipe down. Hopefully that O-ring is going to be good for a second round. Should be. I'm trying to pinch it down as evenly as I can. I have heard these have got a tendency to do some splitting. That should be all good. Let's do a leak test. This won't give me any result for under pressure, but it's filling up the engine. Right, it is holding around that thermostat now, so spilt it. Oh, can't see anything coming out of there, so we'll put it back together and top her off. Oh, this hose is probably getting a bit manky now too these days, but yeah. Should be good. Just reusing the coolant that I put in yesterday because it really doesn't have much miles on it. It did get a bit dirtied up, as you can possibly see in the bottle here, from the rusty water that was in the system for the last week or two. So it might be a good idea, run it up a bit when I do an oil change. Once it's got some miles on it, hopefully, maybe do the coolant again as well. Just kind of flush out the system. you know, just through running it, is what I'm trying to say. Know what I mean? Yep. Better not look, because otherwise I'll end up with this all over the floor. Oop. Ah, of course. What am I doing, man? Okay, so I'll start it up, run it up, before I put the cap on. Pressure's coming up. Temp, nothing yet. Here comes the clatter. Clatter's coming back now. It seems to be when oil pressure comes up we get a clatter. Weird. Oil pressure's sitting just under 30. And temp's up at about 180. Clattering, didn't fix that. That would have just been a fluke. Might have fixed the shriek that we get every so often, but bubbling over. Bubbles out. It should be right, that thermostat should have opened at 180. Still climbing. Still climbing. Should be getting cooler water, should be getting in there at some point soon. Sometimes it sounds more rackety here, but I don't know. I had my stethoscope out again. I was working my way around looking for things, but still bubbling over. Forgot about that. Yeah, man, so yeah, she's still climbing, peaking hard out. That's heading up to. Coming back down, going back up. pounds. Temperature's still just going all up and down and all over the place. Maybe this gauge is too sensitive or something, and it kind of moves too quickly, too reactive to the most minor of changes, you know, like, you know, just the water flowing could be a hot spot. And then yeah, suddenly starts to peak out. Oh no, it's just holding again. Still got the cap off, mind you, so it might be something to do with it. It's not pressurizing the system properly. There goes. So just taking it for a little run to the end of the street and back. part of its warm-up cycle. It kind of goes through this, gets all the water to the same temperature, and then it's happy at 190. I don't know. Something's squeaking though. Something's squeaking in there. I think the rattle is ever so slightly better. It could be, I could just be getting used to it. The temperature thing, what do you think about that? That gauge just going like that, you know? Is it just super reactive gauge to hot pockets as they're passing through past it, if you know what I mean. I don't know. It's just kind of freaks me out. I've never had anything quite like that be so snappy to go up to, even as I was just coming back down the street just now, it actually just about got to 270 on the gauge and then just dropped straight back down to 200. You know, it's like, that's like head gasket blowing material, I would have thought. Anyone got any insight onto that? Let us know down in the comments. That would be awesome. Should I ditch that little tiny zoom gauge and see if I can hook up my factory gauge back into it, into the same port? I can't put it where I used to have it on the old 383 because that was there, but I could potentially put it into that head port. Will I still get the same mad readings as that? My electric fan, mind you, I'm not letting them come on their own. I'm hitting the switch all the time because I'm freaking out about the overheating thing. But yeah, so starter motor sounds good. It didn't fix all my problems, but I didn't hear it do the kind of shriek kind of thing either, which is one little problem solved. Yeah, but runs and drives. She's pretty smoky on this side, as I said in the last video. I should do a compression test on it since I've got a compression tester and see if there is a weak cylinder there or something that's got bad rings or whatever. But we'll, maybe next time around. But for now, she goes. I just don't like that temperature thing. So let me know what you guys think. And yeah, we'll see where we go from there. So anyway, that's it for this go round. Till next time. Oh, don't forget we're on Facebook and the Instagram as well as right here on the YouTube, but you already know that because you're watching this video. Till next time, take it easy and peace.